There are big mistakes when it comes to the short game. There are so many things going on, but these big mistakes cost you shots every single round you play. I'm not only going to just point out the mistakes, I'm going to give you a very easy fix for each one of them. Much of golf instruction ignores your environment. Yes, you need a foundation technique, but it's always off a flat lie. Very rarely are we facing short game shots off a flat lie. So what do you do when you're faced with uphill, downhill, sidehill, whatever it might be? I'm going to make just one tip, very, very easy, and it's a principle that you can apply to all of your shots around the greens, whether you're in the bunker, rough, fairway, whatever it might be. But the big mistake that I see is not adjusting to the slope. Meaning, you can see I'm up quite a big slope here. However, if I do not adjust to the slope and I'm trying to kind of do a regular setup like this, all right, where I'm trying to stay pretty level, I've got my weight on the front foot, I'm maintaining the triangle, whatever it might be, I'm now already sort of digging into that slope because I'm hitting into like a wall basically. So my club is going to stop a little bit. And what happens there is we get tentative. When we get tentative, we try and flip it, we try and stab at it. And all of those things are not conducive to consistent shots. The same applies if we're downhill. If we're trying to sort of maintain our levels, so we're trying to sort of stay straight here, okay? Obviously that means that we can sort of thin it because we're not getting down to it enough. Here's the easy fix. Next time you're faced with a sloping shot up a hill, put your feet together. Find the center of where you want to be. Okay, that's my center. I've got my feet together. What I'm now going to do is I'm balanced. I'm actually just going to step and I'm going to allow myself to adjust and sink to the slope. I'm trying to match my body angles with the slope. So now I'm actually level. I'm level to my environment. My technique stays the same, but I'm following the slope up. But I don't have to try and follow it up because my setup is doing most of the hard work for me. So this is how I calibrate all those different tricky shots around the greens, and you'll find you get a lot more consistency. But how does it work when you've got downhill? It doesn't happen often, but this does happen where we're on the back edge of a bunker. The same principles apply if we're chipping, but if I was to try and do my regular setup, I'm almost going to miss that ball. I'm definitely going to thin it. But I also don't want to try and overcrowd it and overdo the steepness because I'm just going to dig into the ground and it's going to stay in. So we do the same principle, feet together, trying to stay sort of level and balanced. And now I'm literally just going to step down the hill and set my weight there. Try and feel more balanced, like I'm matching it, get my setup comfortable because I've got to move that further behind, but I'm matching the slope now. And hopefully, as long as I do my regular technique, keeping that face open, we can still get it out with relative good height and good contact. With the simplest, easiest adjustments, you will be more consistent around the greens. The next mistake derives from having too much movement. And I'm not specifying what the issue is specifically, too far forward, too far back. We're just talking about movement. And it stems from, much of the time, weight distribution at setup. Not just at setup, where it's going through the swing. People kind of forget the importance of that foot pressure, how much effect that has. It affects our drives, irons, but it also affects our short game, whether it's pitching, bunker play, chipping, whatever it might be. It's consistency. So we want to try and find that blend of stability, not too much movement, but enough movement to give us the right contact and feel and momentum that we want. So here's the easy fix. I've touched on this a little on the chip shots, but what we're talking about on chipping, pitching, bunker is maintaining the setup. Now we want to try and always have at least 60% of our weight on our front side here. As I'm standing, I want my lead arm, my left arm, just to be hanging. But notice, I'm not trying to find the ball, I'm not reaching for it, it doesn't feel too far away, but I'm also not crowding it this way, because if I was to sort of extend my arms out and let them relax, I'm going to be having to grip it here, or I'm going to be chunking it. All of those things affect our consistency. And the same goes for our weight distribution. So I'm feeling stacked over this front side, at least 60 to 70%. This unit is strong. My weight distribution is staying in my feet. I'm very aware of what I feel under the ground. Now, as I make my backswing, the chip shot, pitch shot, whatever, this is not specific to just where I am now. I'm trying to maintain that weight distribution on the backswing, on the downswing, and through. Just making that my goal, staying even. Little movement and maintaining that distribution is going to give me that very simple action, and it works for every shot around the green. The final big mistake is not having a pre-shot routine. People just forget about the importance of even a very simple couple of point pre-shot routine when it comes to being around the greens. They think it only applies to irons and drives or whatever. It really does make a massive difference when you start to keep it simple for your pre-shot routine, but get precise with it. I'm not telling you to throw the grass up or visualize every single shot, but you have to have a couple of steps that you follow for each one, because it provides continuity for one thing. So whether you need to get up and down to break your personal best, or whether it's just messing around with friends, whatever it is, we want to try and get as much continuity and consistency with how we approach and attack every single shot. So you might have one for your full game, your long game. You can adjust it to this. You probably have to condense it a little bit, but it's the same amount of process, okay? We are obviously selecting the club. Let's presume we've done that. We now have to select our landing point, okay? That's one of the key things. Like, where do I want to land the ball? Depending on my lie, depending on the club I want to use, and depending on the green, the shot, everything like that. So I pick my landing spot. Then I pick my club. Then I basically stand behind, and I do, just for a second, visualize that happening. Then all I do is choose my intermediate point. I hone in on the landing point because I've sort of gauged it out. I approach the shot. I'm going to do 1 or 2, depending, rehearsals of the pace I want to do. Now, I tend to actually kind of do a Goldilocks thing where that's going to be too short, that's going to be too long, just right. That's part of my pre-shot routine, and I'm sort of doing that maybe when other people are messing around. I'm calibrating myself that way, so when it comes to my turn, I can just go. But I'm choosing my landing point. I've got my intermediate point that I'm going to aim over. I create my setup and make sure I'm diligent in my setup, ball position, weight distribution. Now, all I'm going to do is one look at the landing spot and pull it back and chip. That's literally all I am doing as my pre-shot routine. Being consistent in that pre-shot routine is what makes all the difference. Whether you're in bunker, rough, wherever, be consistent and you will have more consistent scores. There we have it. Ooh, almost in. Use those very easy fixes and you will have more consistency and confidence around the greens. Now, if you want to really improve the rest of your golf swing, so it's not putting as much pressure on your short game in the first place, this lesson is going to treat you very well. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.